Welcome to Sutton Valence School and our virtual open morning. I'm sorry you can't be here in person today, but I look forward to meeting you all soon. Sutton Valence was founded in 1576 by Sir William Lamb, who was master of the Clothworkers' Company. When it was founded, it was set up to instill a fear of God, good manners, knowledge and understanding. Of course, the fear of God is quite an anachronistic thing now, but the good manners, knowledge and understanding still really do underpin everything we do. When it was started, there were only 12 children in the school, 6 from clothworkers' families in London and 6 from local farms here in Kent. Now we're at 560, but there are 3 things that underpin us now as they did back then, and those are our sense of family and community, the idea of the things we do in and out of the classroom, what we call a total curriculum, and also that fundamentally we all agree that the definition of educational success is improving outcomes. Everyone can't be the same, and neither should they be, and a community is stronger by the individuals it has in it. So if everyone can accept who they are and just be a better version of themselves by the time they leave, they will have done a great job. This starts off by making people feel that they belong and they're a part of a community, but are recognized that that community is made up of individuals. So the school is 560 now in the senior school, but we stopped at 560. We have grown considerably over time, because we need to know everyone. Everyone is an individual with their own strengths and weaknesses, their own warts and beauty spots, their own interests and dislikes. And if we don't know the individual, we won't be able to cater for those. We won't be able to find out what that shape, academic shape is of that pupil, and then work to improve it. Anyone predicted a C who ends up getting a B, or a B to an A or an A to an A star, the journey is the same, they're just different starting points. And often it's not possible to do genetic re-engineering. People are who they are. But surely the success is how far they improve, rather than actually whether they all end up with 10 A stars or 10 Bs. That is rather irrelevant. And if I can get everyone in the school to recognize that actually that's what matters, and that we can see that happening with everyone, then they can feel engaged and really part of a community that knows them. The danger in schools that get too large is that middle tranche, the people who are average, and that is most of us, or it wouldn't be the average, are the ones who can frequently get ignored. The ones at the top who are knocking on your door asking for subscriptions to The Economist are really obvious. The ones who are clearly drowning at the bottom and need help are very obvious. But those people in the middle who go about working really hard to improve themselves can easily get ignored. So if we have a number that we can actually know everyone in the school, then actually we can make sure that they are recognised for who they are and where they have real strengths and where they're really trying to tackle their weaknesses. What we try and create in the school as a community are families. So the 560 is a family. We just about all squeeze into chapel here for chapel and my assembly. But from that one big family, we divide into smaller families, whether they're day houses or boarding houses, across year groups, very vertical, like a real family, and they all look out for each other. From the boarding and day houses, we go down to tutor groups, which are vertical across the year groups as well. So you have older siblings and younger siblings, and they all support each other and work together. Of course, a child's friends are going to come from their year group, but their family can come across the whole school and all the age range. And whether you call it a chapel choir, whether you call it a rugby team, whether you call it a drama rehearsal group, they're all families. They go across year groups and they support each other. A lot of the seniors coach the juniors in sport, a lot of the senior artists help the junior artists, and of course CCF is very much across the year groups. If I can get all the children to feel like they belong to a family, they will always feel that there are people there to support them. And if you feel supported, you're prepared to push yourself. It's that simple Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you feel loved, fed and watered, you really are prepared to build on that because the foundations are very firm. And you know that there are people there to support you as you travel through and discover the edges of your comfort zone, knowing that if you do fall flat on your face, we can pick you up, brush you off and start again. So that sense of community is really important, but everyone has to recognise that we're not a sausage factory. The individuals actually make the community stronger because they have a unique set of interests and skills. If everyone in the school wants to be scrum half in the first 15, then the first 15 is incredibly weak. But if everyone in the school just wants to be a scrum half, then as a community it has very little breadth and interest. But if I have people who are great academics, fantastic musicians, sportsmen and women, dramatists, kind charity workers, CCF, Duke of Edinburgh enthusiasts, then actually the community is very strong and it's very real and lifelike. And for me, that's very important. If I want the community to be all A's and A stars, I just lose the bottom 30% of the cohort. But that's not a community, that is a selected group. It was Tony Little, the retired head of Eton, who said, your intake defines your output. And that's very true. If I want all A's and A stars, I just get in all A's and A stars on an ability profile. But that isn't what we do here. We take our family, our community, and we get you all to improve. And if I can get everyone bouncing into school every day because they're enjoying it and they feel part of a family, then they're incredibly easy to work with. The second part of our educational philosophy is what we call the total curriculum, and that's the things that go on outside of the timetable and the main academic day. And that can be sport, music, drama, CCF, Duke of Edinburgh, charity work, activities. And I don't mind what they are, but I need people to get involved in that. And not because it's about being a well-rounded child, it's actually much more important than that. The minute anyone is doing something that they really enjoy and they're recognised as being good at it, they build their self-esteem and their confidence, really grow through that. And that's such a vital thing, because it's confidence that takes us through everything. And if we can find areas where all of the children can have their own passion, their thing, where they feel confident and they can build their self-esteem, then that will take them through a lot of the academic difficulties or other parts of their journey through the school that they may not find so easy. So self-esteem and confidence are vital, and they often come doing those things outside of the classroom. For some it may be in the physics lab or maths, but for many it's on the sports field or on the theatre or in the music school. But the other thing, of course, the minute any of us are doing something that we love, we start learning self-discipline, commitment, focus and effort without any trouble at all. It just happens naturally because we're enjoying what we're doing. And it's these transferable skills, self-discipline, commitment, focus and effort, which are going to take all of the children a long way in life, not just through their A-levels and their secondary school or their universities and their first job, but all the way through life. And if I can instill these transferable skills in all of the children, and they understand that they can't cherry pick and just put it into the thing they love, they have to apply it to everything they do, however difficult that is. Even to take 10% of that self-discipline that they show in the thing that they enjoy into the subject they find most difficult, they will see an improvement. And when they see an improvement, it almost becomes a virtuous spiral, and they start believing in themselves, so they commit more, and that's how they start to improve in those areas which they don't find so easy. So for me, unlike many sort of London day schools, which will see the things outside of the classroom as a distraction that may affect, or even damage academic performance, I think it's quite the opposite. The things pupils do outside of the classroom really fuel their self-esteem and confidence and provide them with those transferable skills that are going to take them a long way in life and actually end up improving and enhancing their academic performance. So for us, the total curriculum is absolutely vital in getting everyone to improve themselves and to add value to their performance. The final part of our philosophy is that somehow we need to be able to measure the improvement of every child, so they can see and we can see that they are improving themselves and therefore can really stay engaged and committed to their learning. So we use a system run by the University of Durham which is called MIDGIS at GCSE, and it's called ALICE at A-level. And what that does is Durham University have been doing this for 30 years with sort of 600 schools, so they have an awful lot of data. And it's an online study, skills, verbal and non-verbal tests that they do when they start with us. And what it'll do is it'll say a boy or girl of your child's age getting the same result as your child just did compared to their 30-year history of all that data says that your child is likely to achieve this at GCSE or this at A-level. So it's a forward predictor on past data. And we use those as what we call tags, target agreed grades, and we publish those. And it doesn't matter what the shape is. It doesn't matter whether that's 5 Ds and 5 Cs or 10 A stars. It is the starting point that we're all very honest about. Because as I've said before, it's not about the starting point, it's about the journey travelled. And what we do is we monitor that 7 times a year, and we're trying to get between half a grade and a grade above what Durham says when it comes to the GCSEs and the A-level. Because if your child has done that and improved themselves that much, they have done a great job. And actually, everyone needs to see that they are improving themselves, because especially those that don't have as much academic confidence as others, if they can't see that the work they're doing is making a difference, they will quickly give up on themselves and believe themselves to be mediocre or not capable of doing this. And the minute they deflate, everything starts to fall apart. So we monitor with that data 7 times a year, creating a large traffic light system, which is very open. We're all very aware of it. And if a child is slightly below, then they're in the red zone, and his or her tutor are talking to the teachers about what they can do to improve that. If they get up to what Durham said they were going to get, they're on the amber, and that's great. When they start going above that, they get into the green zone. And the more above that they are, the darker green. So at each of those 7 reporting periods, the darkest green is the person who gets all the attainment prizes, the accolades, the house points, and all the recognition, because they need that for their own self-esteem. Schools are very bad at telling people who are good at something that they're good at something. And that's a waste of your breath. Those who are really talented sportsmen or academics or sportswomen and musicians need to be stretched and challenged, but they don't need to be told they're good all the time. They know that. Their confidence is high in those areas. But those other children who don't believe in themselves need to see that they're making a difference and they're improving themselves, and they need to be recognised for that. Their confidence in those areas is not as strong, so the more we can do to bolster by showing them that they're improving their own performance, the more engaged and committed they become to it. What's good about the Durham system is actually, once the results are out, it goes back to the university, and they tell us exactly what we've done by every individual pupil, and also as the school as a whole against those 600 other schools. And we try strategically to be in the top 10% of those 600 schools every year for improving outcomes. Now, that doesn't mean everyone's going to be A stars, but it does mean that actually if we can show that everyone has improved themselves, then everyone, your child, my staff, have done a fantastic job. And that's so important to keeping the whole community focused on improvement rather than trying to be like each other. Going back to where I started, if you remember, William Lamb said knowledge and understanding. Now, those are very different things. And I think that's something that we really do instill here. Knowledge is the acquisition of facts and figures, and that's really important. But actually, what matters is that understanding of how you apply those things, and understanding of how you deal with people, and understanding of how you achieve what you want to achieve. And that's more than knowledge. And understanding is such a crucial factor in education these days. I'll leave you with a quote by Miles Kington that sort of sums that up. He said, "Knowledge is knowing that tomato is a fruit. Understanding is not putting it in a fruit salad." I hope you enjoy your tour today, and I look forward to seeing you soon.